make a hack. Unemployed, got zero is back. Madness, chaos, pure resistance. But no finances in this instance. Watch out! Kingdom Home Run, super villain #1. Watch out! Kingdom Home Run, Dr. Zero #1. Food stamps, drink, economy lane. Empty savings like all the same. Poverty forged, iron will. Broke all days, front the bill. All are equal, no discrimination. .0, a simple equation. Spinner spun, master of fate. Bows to no god, kingdom or state. Watch out! Kingdom Home Run, super villain #1. Watch out! Kingdom Home Run, Dr. Zero #1. Watch out! Yeah, watch out! Food stamps drained, economy lame. Unemployed like all the same. Poverty forged, iron will. Broke all days, front the bill. Watch out! Kingdom Home Run, super villain #1. Watch out! Kingdom Home Run, Dr. Zero #1. So watch out! Kingdom Home Run, super villain #1. Watch out! Kingdom Home Run, Dr. Zero #1. Super villain #1. Super villain #1.
Hello, and welcome once again to the Dr. Zeero Xiron Free Magic Secrets Show. We investigate all forms of magic. We talk about all kinds of things and stuff. Talk about the cool book I wrote called Apex Unhinged. We talk about the music that I've been pushing out using Suno, which you'll find at this channel. Talk about occult commentary. We talk about different things going on in the world today and such. And today we're still talking about the joy of supervillainy. So I said a lot last night, quite a mouthful, and I quickly posted it. And you know the great thing about being a supervillain, you just let it like all flop out. You know what I mean? Just let it hang. It's like having a big old beer belly that comes on out over that waist thing that ties around. What is it called? Belt. Yeah, that's what it's called. So I'm talking about very specifically. So what is it that makes a supervillain from a magical perspective? Like, what is a magical supervillain? You know, what's the cut of the jib here? See, the thing is, there's this thing called mass public opinion. And there's also the mass opinion of different religions and such, different dogmas that exist out there. And if you are an adversary, a hard, true adversary to so much of these people, even if you know you're ultimately in the right, because what you stand for is reality, nature, the physical universe, what exists, if humans seeing the earth through the lens that you are the only human on the earth, and then experiencing the earth without the fucking interference of humans, you come to a certain standpoint when you're able to unclutter them. They say you're an alienated loner, antisocial, blah, 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 blah. But when you've actually, truly isolated yourself from everyone else and everything else, there is liberation in that. When you absolutely don't need anyone and it's just you and the earth and your experience underneath it, and not one bother of loneliness enters you, not one bother of concern what anyone else thinks, because nobody is there on the planet of you. And when you become this, you become the enemy of all their dogmas, even though you are the fool in the most profound sense, in the most tarot sense, you know. Number 0 is omnidirectional potential. And when you find that place in the universe where you are alone on the earth Even if you walk among your fellow man, you're able to do that mentally in your head. You see a reality that blasts to bits their entire planet and everything that they think, all their dogmas, all their goofy shit, all their traditions, all their greed, all their need of family, all their obsession with finances and material possessions and video games and distractions and overwhelming floods. Simply being as keyed into nature and as totally profound as you can makes you a supervillain. You know, it behooves me to think of that issue of Swamp Thing, where it's a double-sized issue where Swamp Thing goes to Gotham, and he turns he basically turns Gotham into a swamp jungle, and he's being referred to as a terrorist by the people who control the city because he's turning reality into what it actually is. If humans weren't there, it would all be covered in vines, you know? And he brought it back to what it actually was, and he was called a terrorist. So, if that isn't enough from that standpoint, you know, then you get to the next step. And I talked in the last video about how people who experience magic and are part of and illuminated to it and understand techniques and how to access these powers within themselves or even these mental processes, all these intense mind power designs, you makes you a cut above the rest of humanity, and you are beyond them. You can try to fit in, you can be humble, but you always have to realize that, you know, you're on an elevated peak and they're at a lower vibrational level. And supervillain supervillain knows that they can manipulate any of these people like a marionette with strings, given the right circumstances and the correct NLP. Many other things. I mean, there's other stuff that makes a magical supervillain, right? You have to be really into comic books. Well, I mean, you could just be a starter in comic books and appreciate the design. So, I mean, what's up with the supervillains? You know, they're always tragically flawed characters. You know, there's true monsters, and then there's just conflicted people who've been warped or deranged by some weird traumatic event, and they're living out the trauma and trying to get revenge or some unhealthy thing or whatever. I'm full of unhealthy things. I know I'm full of extremely healthy things as well, but I'm also still afflicted by all kinds of unhealthy things. So I'm one of these flawed, deranged characters who is like a coin flipping in the air, and depending on what side of the coin that it lands on, you get it's more like, I'm going to say it more like this. Let's say one of those Dungeons and Dragons dice. Let's give it more options. You know, I'm a multi-sided individual. I know I'm all one person, but boy, do I got a lot of different sides to me. And there are some nasty sides here. And this comes with being a magical supervillain. So it's really like, you know, understanding that you can, at will, be a destructive energy in the universe. And, you know, using magic and all these things that you should be, you know, pious and humble with in these ceremonial magician circles, classically. It's learning this power and usurping it for your own agenda and your own ego and evolution to your own sort of sense of self-godhood, which is not a bad thing, because if you ask Dr. Zeero why they say I'm a supervillain, no matter what they say, I say that whatever created us wants us to fulfill our egos. See, the same way that Aleister Crowley said the will is the main fucking thing, ultimately he was still about assimilation to the Godhead, right? I'm not about assimilation to Godhead. I'm about knowledge of it, but I'm about assimilation to the soul of the universe. One with the creation, becoming a heretic ipsissimus that exists after death as like a, oh, they look at you as a ghost, some magician ghost, you know? That's ultimately what I want. I want to be forever and ever and ever and ever. some invisible entity that's part of the universe, able to interact on all kinds of different levels. And if that is possible, it has to do with the power of the mind over energy, and able to integrate. Because as long as you fuck around with any of this weird Jesus religions or any of the Abrahamic faiths, all the major religions, if you fuck around with all those, you'll never integrate. They always teach assimilation, assimilation with something, submission and assimilation to it. Pious, righteous, zealot, assimilation. And a supervillain never just bows and assimilates. A supervillain stands on a pedestal and says, execute me if you want, but my ego shall shine bright as a sun. So you dig it? So that's from like a magical perspective. Now you also talk about other things that make someone a magical supervillain, right? Or you got gadgets. It's very important. All right, gadgets. Now I've seen people with radionics boxes. I've seen like alchemite machines. I've seen all kinds of crazy shit. And you know, so what I'm saying is, part of supervillainy, magical supervillainy. Remember what Connell Cochran did. Why Halloween 3 Season of the Witch was so effective, because the idea was mixing witchcraft and technology. And of course, they're dealing with old green screen Apple computer sort of technology, and it's 1982 and all. But don't forget the merging of technology and witchcraft. I mean, the Chaos Magic crowd was way ahead of it. Why aren't the supervillain crowd jumping on top of that? Because so many supervillains, as you see, are mad scientists gone mad. So I do want to stress the important gadgets, in that Zeero Xiron has been puzzling over what sort of gadget to make. What could I create? What sort of thing? Instead of a spirit box, maybe a vortex box. What I want to do is create some sort of ultimate radionics box that opens up a portal to the world that you must be mediumistic to. Fucking a Ouija board. That's it. The electronic Ouija board. Taking it to levels never before seen. So it's kind of a concept, but oh me, oh my. I think I already have it. Does Dr. Zeero think it's a good idea to talk to ghosts? No. But maybe I should unleash this technology upon the world. Someone else is going to beat me to the punch. I know I just gave him the idea. Because even though I want to be pious and humble a lot of times, I'm still a supervillain, and I let things fly and I let things slip on the Free Magic Secrets Show. I give out all kinds of free magic secrets and trade secrets that people don't always want to know. Because like any good deck of cards, there's always a joker in the deck, and every good tarot deck, there's always a magician in there. I like to be both of these cards. But that's the importance of supervillainy. Always remain a bit of a clown. You know, there's many examples throughout history. But don't just end up the jester. There's a big difference.
Last night a little dancer came dancing to my door. Last night a little angel came pumping on the floor. She said, come baby, I got license for love. Well, infinity smiles right here from above. door. Last night my little angel came bumping on the floor. She said, "Come baby, a license for love." When it expires, baby, from above. Because with a midnight hour, she cried more, more, more. With a rebellion, she cried more, more, more. With a midnight hour, babe, more, more, more. With a rebellion, more, more, more. She likes me, she wants to see me. But when I'm tired and lonely, she sees me to bed. Once that you're free and brought you to me. Once that you're free, I need you here by me because with a midnight hour, she cried more, more, more. With a rebellion, she cried more, more, more. With a midnight hour, babe, more, more, more. With a rebellion, more, more, more. Feelings in his own heaven collects you to go from the 7-Eleven. Well, it's out of line to collect the fare. Just so long, gotta pay some, he said. Last night the little dancer came dancing to my door. Last night my little angel came bumping on the floor. She said, "Come baby, I got license for love." When infinity fires right here from above. summers with you. Why dry the tears of pain a million times for you? Why sell my soul for you, for the body to be with you? Why give you all hell and love, just to have you in my knee? Because when the midnight hour, she cried more and more and more. With the rebellion, she cried more and more and more. With the midnight hour, babe, more and more and more. With the rebellion, more and more and more. Galaxy to go from the 7-Eleven.